What's up guys, it's Manga Time once again. I'm here to bring you my review of Bleach 555, The Hero. My predictions were basically correct. It is time to see Ichigo again. Although not for long, and actually in quite a different manner to what I was expecting as well. But it is only fitting that we see Ichigo when the chapter is 555. It starts off in Ryokyu, you get that cool shot. And I have to admit that I'm a little disappointed that we're apparently leaving already. I hope we come back at some point, because I feel like there's so much left to explore. Like, obviously the Greater Palace. We've only really seen the five Royal Guard palaces, and in fact we've barely seen two of them. Kubo appears to have skipped the two most interesting Royal Guards, Shutara and Ichibe, which is annoying. However, I think maybe we'll see them later in a flashback, because generally in a training session, the most important part, if something major happened, you kind of revisit it later when that becomes important and apparent. So I do kind of hope we'll see that again. However, it starts off with Korinji and Shutara heading towards the landing section where the Tenchurin brought them, basically. And also there's like the little city underneath the other cities. Yeah, I feel there's a lot left to do in the Royal Realm, but, you know, Kubo, I hope we go back. But anyway, yeah, and then we see Ichigo, who's arriving with them, and this is the biggest costume change I think he's ever had. I quite like it, however, I think it'll divide the fans. He's kind of got an Arabic look going on now. He's got like a turban, which is possibly the only part of it that I feel is a bit out of place. However, I think it'll grow on me eventually. He's wearing a lot of different layers as well. However, I think the most important part of his costume change is his actual Shihakusho. It's inverted. It's white with a black sash, which is massively major. Not only does that like distinguish him immediately from every other Shinigami there ever has been, it also means he looks a bit more like his hollow, which in my opinion is probably due to the acceptance of his hollow powers and his Shinigami powers as one. However, though, if we go through the costume, he's got like a big, heavy-looking overcloak with a kind of big, flat collar. He's wearing like multiple layers. His sash is kind of tatty and black. But, wait a minute. Hang on, he's got like a big black collar. But I think, actually, no, that collar might be a second cloak. It's kind of coming all the way down. And then so is the patterned bit as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing him without the cloak on. I think he's going to look wickedly cool, actually, underneath. Yeah, the coloured bit is not actually coloured, but the pattern bit is coming all the way down as well, but it looks thinner than the other bit, I think. I don't know, I think he looks cool. I think he looks really good, and I think Kubo put a lot of effort into this design, actually. We can see that the small sword on his waist now has a bandage around the handle, and also seems to have some kind of sheath, and the big sword has his typical bandage and is on his back. So I think people are going to like the swords a little bit more for that little aesthetic change, because it looks a bit more familiar. He's also got little gloves on as well. He looks really quite different, and I think it looks really awesome, actually, because it's the most distinguished he's ever looked, and, you know, when he arrives on the battlefield, you know everyone's just going to be like, oh my god, wow. But he's surprised to note that there is no Tenchurin, and he has no idea how they're going to get back. It's quite a little funny scene. But he's told that they're walking down, which is interesting. And then Senjumaru, I don't know what she does exactly, but I think she pushes a button and these stairs all kind of drop from the Royal Realm, I presume all the way down to Seireitei. And they're like spiral stairs. They're not really stairs. Well, they are, I suppose. They look like they're made of paper, though, but yeah. Apparently they can't use the Tenchurin all the time because of... Oh, no, wait, hold on. Actually, Korinji says, I'd like to take you there with the Tenchurin, but we can't go down so often. So they're clearly not allowed to go down to Seireitei in such short bursts. I don't know how long they'll have to wait again. That kind of sucks. Does that mean they're not going to fight? I would hope not. Unless Yuharvark makes it to the Royal Realm, of course, which I think he might do. So yeah, Korinji said you're going to have to walk down. It'll take you about a week if you use Shumpo. Now that's important, I think, because the fight is 9 days long, technically, so Ichigo is going to arrive in 7 days. I know he says he won't, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Ichigo will arrive in 7 days, possibly, with 2 days left. That kind of makes sense, and we'll have probably big main fights over the last 2 days. Korinji, quite funny, he's like expecting some kind of reaction. He's expecting Ichigo to flip out, but he doesn't. Ichigo's pensive about it, he's calm. Korinji kind of reiterates, it's going to take you a while. But, Ichigo just says, it doesn't matter, I can do it in half a day. I don't know, maybe he really is such a beast now. Also, interestingly, we can see in this panel that he has his sword under his cloak, and also his cloak appears to have some kind of insignia on the back of it, like a Haori does. I would presume it's probably the Royal Guard insignia, not meaning Ichigo is a member now, but just they've kind of accepted him, really, as being that level of power, and because he spent so much time with them. So yeah, they're kind of interrupted by the arrival of Ichibei, who arrives with his trademark booming laughter, and he tells Ichigo that you don't have to worry about the fight, and you finally stopped overreacting, which is cool. That's a bit of development for Ichigo. He's kind of growing up, becoming a little bit more serious about things. And Ichibei tells him that the Quincy's started their attack 3 hours ago. That's a long time. I kind of thought they were maybe doing it 40 minutes to an hour at tops, but 3 hours, that's a long time. It's also quite funny that this fight is supposed to last 9 days, and it took 3 hours for Toshiro and Soifon to go down. But yeah, Ichigo kind of blasts downwards, which is hilarious, because he just decides that there's no point using the steps, I'll just jump down it, which makes you wonder why there's steps in the first place. But Ichigo's like, why didn't you say that earlier? And, they're not too bothered. But Hikifune arrives, she's like all out of breath. Obviously been storing up her Reiatsu again because she's fat. And she I don't really understand this bit. She says, eat this if you get angry on the way. And then she chucks him a giant rice ball, right? He says, if I get angry fighting, I'll hide somewhere and eat it. Thank you. Is there something wrong with Ichigo getting angry now all of a sudden? Maybe his hollow side will like unleash itself. I don't know, but I think it's weird. The Hikifune says, eat it if you get angry on the way, but Ichigo says, if I'll hide somewhere while I'm fighting. That was weird. I'll wait for Manga Stream for that, but yeah. So Ichigo blasts off, and the Royal Guard are watching him go, and this is kind of the typical, your good guy has become stronger, he's growing. Ichibei says that his body and soul have become stronger, he became a real Shinigami. I think it's weird that Oetsu's not here, actually. Maybe he'll show up as Ichigo's flying down. But yeah, Oetsu's not there. And we also have no idea how long it's been since Ichigo left the Royal Realm, because this is all technically a flashback, because he's basically told Urahara everything that happened. But he says it will still take me some time to get there. And Urahara's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then Ichigo tells Urahara to, even if the fight gets tough, please resist until I get there, I'll definitely do something. And Urahara's kind of shocked by this, so it seems, and he doesn't really say anything until a bit later, so he's obviously very, Ichigo's clearly very powerful now. He's clearly like a one-man army. I think he'll meet his match in Uryu, though. I think that's probably what's going to happen. Whether he'll fight Seireitei first or not, I don't know. We get this good picture of Urahara just kind of smiling. He's like, yeah, we're waiting for you, Kurosaki-san. So it's quite a bit different now. It's very different to the whole Ichigo freaking the hell out before about Seireitei being under attack. I mean, I know that kind of had to do with him being trapped in Kurji's jail, but he's far more relaxed about it. He's on his way, and he knows there's not much he could do about it, so he just has to go. And Urahara seems to be kind of the same, because obviously the Shinigami were flipping out last time, and now it's just, we're waiting for you. And it's like, da-da! We get this cool picture of Ichigo, it looks amazing. The detail is absurd. But yeah, he's flying down, it looks G. And I have to say, actually, that's new. What the hell is that? Oh wait, no. Is that his collar? It's like, it kind of looks like teeth going around his right shoulder. Anyway, anyone else think that Shutara gave Shinsui his pink Haori? Because they basically look like that, but slightly less detailed. Anyway, that's the best picture in the whole chapter. The title page just looks amazing. That is my panel of the week. But Ichigo says Urahara-san didn't say anything about Seireitei's current condition. I must hurry, and he pulls down the turban over one of his eyes, and he pulls it up over his mouth as well. he looks awesome when he does that. That is really cool. And then he literally just rockets off. And so Ichigo's on his way. And then it cuts back to Bambietta, and she has got her Vollständig. The wings are slightly customised, but by the looks of things, the Vollständig is not as customised as I'd have liked it to have been. In this one panel, she has a massive halo, but that kind of disappears later on. It gets a bit smaller. But her wings appear to be like really sharp at the end, and then have little sections coming off each end, if that makes sense. But Shinji's like, "What's this?" And then he suddenly gets blasted. Holy crap! He gets Izaru'd, you might say. But he looks really shocked at this, obviously. But I think he'll be fine. I would like to think Shinji would be able to react fast enough to maybe pull out his hollow mask to tank it. Komamura is really shocked as well, obviously, but Shinji does take a hit. Then we go over to the Sword 5. Bambietta's little Seireitei group. And Candice Catnip is like, "Oh, my wings came out," which is interesting. Her wings look a bit rubbish. They're just like little lightning bolts. And she doesn't have a halo either, which is weird. Also means that people last week who said that Yuhavark forced the Vollständig on some of these people were probably correct, because they didn't use it on purpose. But it's interesting, it doesn't look like any of the other ones are using it, so who are the other 3 people using it? If it's Bambietta, Candice, Kang, and BG9. I don't think it's Basby, and I don't think it's Asnot. I don't see why it would be. But yeah, Giselle says, just use it if you want. I won't because it tires me. Why are they all just kind of gathering on some little rooftop? They just kind of, like, Giselle's just lying there looking out over the city. They're supposed to be immediately annihilating the enemy. That's what I don't like. I don't like it when people like Hashwolf say something like that, and then you get characters like this that just are doing absolutely fuck all. It's just a bit stupid. But yeah. And, Bambietta's using it, and little Toto's like, well, of course, she was angry because we vanished, and I think she's reading? Or she's eating, actually, I think. Yeah, she's eating. A lot of people have said she might be G for the gluttony, or something like that. The glutton. Could be, actually. That's definitely a possibility. And then Giselle's like, oh, Bambietta's the last person in the world that should use it, because the fight will be over in a second. Now, what the... Giselle says she's stupid, the fight will end in a second. She's not stupid, that's what you're supposed to be doing. I don't know, if I was going to think about it properly, I would say that although their orders are to finish it quickly, the Quincy actually do want to drag it out, because they do want to savour it, as Kyoraku rather correctly stated. You can get a bit of a better view of Bambietta's wings from here. They do look pretty awesome, actually, with the little sections coming off the bottom of the wing. But there's not really any other changes to her, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, that's the chapter. That is the hero. This review went on for a bit longer, actually, than I thought it would, even though the chapter was very short. I'm going to drop a 9 on this chapter. I got massive DBZ vibes off this, with Ichigo running down Snake Way to get there in time. But no, I really liked it, actually, yeah. I really liked it. I don't know what kind of questions to ask you guys this week, because it's a very, very basic chapter. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you think Shinji is really badly hurt, or if you think he was able to tank it or dodge it in time. I would say it looks like he's in trouble. I really hope it goes Bankai, It seems like he should, since Sakanade no longer seems to be working. But I think maybe he'll be out of it for a bit, and then Komamura will take over, and then Komamura will lose. And then Shinji will Bankai. At least that's what I hope will happen anyway. So yeah. Just got to put my charger in, because I really don't want to die now. There we go. So yeah, I think... I don't know, as far as what next chapter is going to go, I presume it's going to return to Shinji and Komamura versus Bambietta. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of another fight. But it seems like we won't get any more from Ichigo for a little while. And I hope the Royal Guard do come down at some point. As for Renji, Byakuya, and Rukia, I presume at least Renji and Rukia. Byakuya is probably still back in the in one of the halls. Renji and Rukia are probably already on their way, though. I suspect they'll get there before Ichigo. A couple of days earlier, maybe. Or he'll meet up with them on the way down, because he's just that fast now. But yeah, that's it for the chapter this week, guys. I shall bring you a companion video pretty soon, although there won't be a lot to talk about. I'll probably talk mainly about Ichigo and what the future might hold for him. But yeah, that's it this week, guys. As always, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, see you later.